If you've ever wondered how you can co-write with songwriters from across the world using technology, no matter how far the distance is, I'm going to tell you how you can do it in this video. What's up? This is Seth Mosley. I am driving up to Sony, the label Sony Music, and we're talking today about co-writing using software. I think nowadays there is no excuses to not be able to songwrite, even with people from multiple time zones all the way across the world in opposite hemispheres, because we have the tools right at our fingertips. In fact, they are literally right at our fingertips. So the first thing you want to think about is what software are you going to use. The great news is most of us have an iOS device like an iPhone or iPad, something like that. FaceTime is built right into it, and it's a great writing tool. In fact, I just did it today with an artist that I'm working with, and I use FaceTime on my computer. So I have my laptop over here, my main screen right there. The camera on the main screen is the one I was using, and I had some of my other windows open on the other computer. So the software is really key. FaceTime is great. What's even better than FaceTime is something called Zoom. You just go to zoom.us. It's phenomenal. It's way better than Skype in terms of stability, and you can record your calls. I believe you can do this with Google Hangouts as well too, but Zoom is the one that I use. And you do have to pay a small fee if you want like over 40-minute sessions. Otherwise, you can just keep the free version and just reset your session every 40 minutes or something like that. But I love the recording feature. Just record the entire thing. If you like want to go back and listen to what you did at the beginning of the session and see if there was any ideas in there, it allows you to do that. If you're on, I believe that works on PC or Mac too. So zoom.us is really great. And then the other piece of software I recommend getting is something called Audio Movers. It's just audiomovers.com. And what Audio Movers does is it allows you to put it as a plugin on the end of your Pro Tools or Logic session. I believe it works with any of the major DAWs. And it live streams the output of your DAW. So let's say you're working on a track or you have a song idea started, and you want the other person on the other end to hear it in real time. You literally just, it's as simple as them sitting with you. You just hit play and they hear exactly what you hear, and it's literally like a second of latency, which means they pretty much hear it right after you play it. Guys, this is amazing technology. When people first started to use this stuff, it was like 15 seconds of latency, so it would be really hard to co-write and collaborate this way. But nowadays there's no limitation there. So Audio Movers is phenomenal. I can show a little bit of a screenshot of how I kind of use it in my sessions, and you can click the link in the description below for Audio Movers. No, we don't have like an affiliate deal with them or anything. It's just a great tool that you guys can use. So that's Audio Movers. So software, making sure that you're completely set up. And yeah, you really don't even have to have like a fancy camera or mic or anything to do this. Like I literally use my one that's built into my Mac and just use the standard mic that's right off of that. I've got a separate microphone that's of course hooked into my DAW for like if I'm gonna record a hook idea or a vocal idea or a guitar idea or something. That's like a pro mic that's plugged into my DAW through my interface. But for just talking back and forth over Zoom, you don't even need that. You just need your basic Mac or PC, laptop, computer microphone, and that's plenty good. As long as they can hear you, as long as there's no weird feedback issues. If you're getting feedback issues, you may need to use like earbuds. Some people I know like to have like one earbud in and one out, so they can kind of hear their speakers out of the one ear and then they hear the person's voice out of the other one. So there's a lot of ways to do it. So yeah, you don't need a fancy microphone, you don't need a fancy camera to do it. And the other thing that I would mention with it is it's going to be a lot different than co-writing in a room. When you're sitting physically with somebody in a room, there's a dynamic that you can read body language, you can read facial expression. The human face has so many thousands of micro expressions that so many of us don't even realize, but we're constantly interpreting them as information of emotion and intent. So it's a little bit different. I will say the dynamic is different co-writing this way, but it doesn't mean it's bad. My best success stories writing on Skype and FaceTime have been when it's with a person that I kind of already know and have a pretty good rapport with, or even if I've just written with them once. Like, that's often enough. Like, it's really great if you go to a conference and co-write with somebody, and then that puts you like in the mind frame. Okay, this is how this person works. Then you'll know when you're going onto a Skype write what they like, the things that they're into, and just their kind of overall personality. But you can do it from square one with people too that you've never worked with. Just know that the dynamic is going to feel a little bit different. And people have asked, like, how do you, like, is there an order to it? Like, do you go first? Does the other person go first? How do you know when somebody comes up with an idea? And yes, that is a little bit different. It's a little less instantaneous than sitting in a room, but it's as simple as, you know, trying to make it as much as like you're sitting in a room and just saying, hey man, I got this idea. What about? And being mindful that you're not the only one talking the whole time. And it's just like you're in a normal writing session. You don't want to be the person that's just constantly throwing out ideas and not listening to the other person. It's important every now and then to stop and let there be some space for the other person to maybe fill in the gaps. Even if you're coming up with a million ideas, it's always good to kind of filter it, and just like a normal conversation, let it be a two-way street. The software part of it is, I really like using Google Docs. So it's kind of a combination of like your DAW, Zoom, and like a Google Doc. You can even have that open on your iPhone or an iPad or something. But it's a great instantaneous lyric writing tool so that you can both see each other's updates in real time, and that's a free thing. It's amazing, thanks to Google. So the thing that I've found when co-writing via Skype or FaceTime or Zoom is that it helps to come in with an idea. There's a lot of times with writing sessions when I'm in person with somebody that I won't bring anything. I'll just bring myself and I'll have my instruments and my setup, but we'll literally craft the idea together in person. I've found that's a little bit tougher when you're doing things virtually over a distance. It's nice to have an idea, and what I say is if you can come up with like a track, if you're a track guy or girl, that can be a great start. Just, hey, I got a few tracks to play for you. What do you think of this, this, and this? And then if they like something, then you can start working on one of those. Or maybe it's a track, a verse, and a chorus. Or maybe it's like you just have the chord progression and the melody and the lyrics for a verse and a chorus. Or even maybe just a chorus is enough. But the point is just having something that's ready. I wouldn't recommend bringing in like a complete song, because then that doesn't really leave room for the other writer to interject themselves. They can often have a hard time hearing through, well, it's like, that's already finished, why would you bring that in? This isn't really co-writing. So that's what I would advise, is start with some kind of an idea. So when we go to wrap up a session over Skype, really the big things, it's just like any writing session, we want to make sure we have each other's publishing info, obviously each other's full names, each other's PRO affiliations, like whether you're with CSAC, ASCAP, or BMI, you always put all of that stuff on the lyric sheet. That's just songwriting etiquette. And you want to make sure you have an MP3, so whoever kind of has, it's really important, I think, that maybe one person has like the master session, like maybe there's 2 track people, but maybe one of you guys wants to be like the master session keeper for it. And so whoever has the master session, even if you're both adding files, just choose at some point in the process who's going to have the master session, and have that person do a bounce at the end of that session of an MP3, and just email that to the other person. So you want the lyrics, you want the MP3, the publishing information, and that's really all you need. I find sometimes doing things via Skype, it may take a few sessions to kind of nail it home. Like, I may do 2 hours at a time on Skype, whereas I may be in a room for 4 hours with somebody like in person, and I may end up doing like multiple, visiting the same song multiple times if I'm writing virtually. So just kind of be prepared for that, expect that. But guys, I can't encourage you enough. So many people nowadays have a hard time finding co-writers. Nowadays there literally is no excuses. It's as simple as logging onto a Facebook group, or searching out just other songwriters and hitting them up on social media, and you can find some great collaborators that way. Last thing I would say is not everybody is going to be somebody you're going to click with. So just be okay with that and understand that going in. Like, you may figure out an hour in or a half hour in, hey, this person is an awesome person, I just maybe don't have the chemistry there creatively. That's okay. You can kind of just finish what you got and move on to the next one. And nobody's going to be offended. I think you just got to find your people, find your crew, and make a regular rhythm out of it. I've seen so many people in our very own Song Chasers group on Facebook who have embraced this. People like Brian Bolivar and Mickey Marion, people who are getting on, you know, weekly and writing songs with each other. People like Aaron Echeverria. Shout out to all you guys who are already doing this and putting it into action. So if you're not doing it and you are having trouble finding co-writers, use this technique, and I want to see you guys writing songs on FaceTime, Skype, Zoom, whatever you want. Hit me with any comments down below if you have any questions about co-writing virtually. Peace. Hey, what's up? Hope you loved the video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to our page for more awesome music industry content. If you are interested in getting a publishing deal, a record deal, or having a career in the music business, I've got a free video class for you right here. Click that link down there to get access to it. And if you want to check out another one of my vlogs, click up here.